For 18 years, the ocean held its secret, a lifeboat drifting aimlessly. The year is 1906. A luxury passenger liner, the SS Valencia, sails confidently into the tempestuous waters off Vancouver Island, a region known ominously as the graveyard of the Pacific. It's a journey that will etch itself into maritime legend, not for its destination, but for its terrifying final moments. The Valencia, a sleek, 252-foot steel-hulled vessel, was built for the rough seas of the West Coast. She boasted electric lights, spacious cabins, and a reputation for reliability. On January 22, 1906, she departed San Francisco for Seattle, then on to Victoria, British Columbia, carrying 108 passengers and 65 crew. But the Pacific, as it often does, had other plans. As the Valencia rounded Cape Beale, a dense fog descended, thick and suffocating. Visibility dropped to near zero, and the ship's navigation became a perilous gamble against unseen hazards. Around 11:50 p.m., the unthinkable happened. With a sickening lurch and a deafening crunch of metal, the Valencia slammed broadside into a submerged reef off Pashina Point. The impact was catastrophic, tearing a gaping hole in her hull. Panic erupted. The ship's internal lights flickered and died, plunging the decks into terrifying darkness. The roar of the waves, now amplified by the ship's groaning timbers, filled the air, a terrifying symphony of destruction. Captain Oscar M. Johnson, a seasoned mariner, immediately ordered the lifeboats lowered. But the raging storm and the ship's severe list made the operation nearly impossible. One lifeboat capsized upon launching, spilling its occupants into the frigid, churning water. Another lifeboat, overloaded, was swamped by a monstrous wave. The scenes on deck were horrific. Men, women, and children fighting for their lives against an indifferent ocean. The hope of rescue dwindled with each passing minute. Only 3 lifeboats successfully got away from the ship. 2 of them, carrying 12 survivors each, made it to shore after a harrowing struggle. The third, with 20 people, vanished into the night, its fate unknown. Back on the Valencia, hundreds remained trapped. The ship was slowly but surely being torn apart by the relentless waves. The distress signals, rockets fired into the black sky, were either unseen or misinterpreted by passing vessels. For nearly 36 agonizing hours, the survivors clung to the wreck. Some sought refuge in the rigging, high above the waves, a desperate gamble against hypothermia and exhaustion. Others were swept away as sections of the ship collapsed. The sheer scale of the tragedy began to unfold as rescue efforts commenced. Ships like the Queen, the Salver, and the city of Topeka converged on the area, battling the same treacherous conditions that doomed the Valencia. But the storm refused to abate. The rescue vessels themselves struggled, unable to get close enough to the wreck. The sight of the Valencia, slowly sinking, with people still visible on its decks, haunted the rescuers. On the afternoon of January 24th, the Valencia finally surrendered to the Pacific. With a final, mournful groan, she slipped beneath the waves, taking with her an estimated 136 souls. Only 37 people survived the ordeal. The disaster sparked public outrage and a formal inquiry. The findings highlighted critical failures: insufficient lifeboats, poorly trained crew in emergency procedures, and a lack of effective communication during the crisis. The tragedy led to significant reforms in maritime safety regulations, particularly concerning lifeboats and radio communications. The Valencia became a grim lesson, a stark reminder of the ocean's unforgiving power and the need for vigilance. But the story of the SS Valencia doesn't end with her sinking. The graveyard of the Pacific is a place where history intertwines with legend, and the echoes of past disasters often linger. For years after the wreck, strange phenomena were reported in the vicinity of Pashina Point. Fishermen and lighthouse keepers spoke of ghostly figures in the waves, sometimes appearing to hail passing ships. Most chilling were the accounts of a phantom lifeboat. Witnesses claimed to have seen a wooden lifeboat, sometimes with a crew of 8 skeletal figures, rowing silently against the current, only to vanish into the fog. Then in 1933, a full 27 years after the Valencia sank, a genuine lifeboat bearing the name Valencia on its bow washed ashore near Barkley Sound. It was one of the lost lifeboats, perfectly preserved, a silent testament to the sea's enduring mysteries. This discovery only deepened the legends. Was this the phantom lifeboat finally returning from its endless journey? Or was it simply a piece of history, patiently delivered by the currents? The SS Valencia remains a haunting presence in the lore of the Pacific Northwest. Her wreck lies deep beneath the waves, a silent monument to the power of nature and the fragility of human endeavor. The screams of the passengers, the roar of the storm, the desperate struggle for survival, these echoes, some believe, still resonate along the wild, windswept shores of the graveyard of the Pacific. The story of the Valencia is a powerful reminder that even the most advanced vessels are no match for the ocean's fury, and that sometimes the dead refuse to rest, their stories carried on the winds and waves. Next time, we journey to the North Atlantic, where a chilling SOS signal led to a ghost ship of truly baffling proportions. Uncover the chilling truth behind the Mary Celeste's vanished crew.